play the game while you listen.
What's going on here?
This ragtag crew of adventurers is covering the problems of the average player.
Where should I begin?
Discussing the homebrews, modules, and the latest content for all things D&D.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
It's Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything.
What you're feeling is so normal and perfectly natural.
With your host, the Pirate Captain.
Everybody loves me, and I don't know why. I'm an asshole. I really am. The Pirate Captain is a dick.
Chef Bolgg.
Let me take a couple steps back so I can, really get this point across.
It's bullshit!
And Loke the Bard.
Instead of making a deal with Cthulhu or, a greater devil, you found an imp who was willing to give you dark vision in exchange for a gallon of blood.
With a little mayhem, mischief, and a bit of bardic charisma, it's time for the show.
Yeah.
Hooray!
We're back at it, boys.
Yay!
Including you, Loke. You're part of the boys, as much as I don't like it, but it's there.
You're the one with 3 breasts.
We got those removed, all right? Quit telling people they're there.
Yeah, but you keep them in your drawer.
I like them there, though. They're fun to play with. I'm learning to juggle. No one asked you. Well, welcome, everybody. It is Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. And as always, there's, of course, Loke the Bard and Mr. Producer.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. We've got a lot to get into today. I want to kind of jump in and kind of get the obligatory. Let's go ahead and tell you, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere you can. It's Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's recipes for everything. It's all you got to do. You find it right there. That's easy as that. Email us. You got those mutiny requests. Somebody wrote me an email with turd. I don't know how you did that, Bolgg, but I'm quite impressed. How did you write an email with a turd?
It's just a natural talent.
Some days I gotta quit asking questions I really don't want answers for. You can write us emails at bolgandpc@gmail.com. Anywhere else, we got the website going. I know my section is blank, and as much as Mr. Producer has been yelling at me to finish it up, I've been a little bit busy working on some other side projects, personal projects. We will get my stuff up and going shortly. But for the real reason people are here today, well, you're listening to a podcast. That's why you're here. We actually have probably some of the coolest guys that I've met in recent months. These guys are the Shattermare Comics guys. They have their own D&D comic, all right? And not only is it got the 7th edition out, which I didn't know about till today when I walked in, they actually have the first volume out. They are, let me let you tell it, because you're going to tell it better than I am. I'm just a fanboy fangirling out on this side of the glass, while you guys are on that side of the glass, being the heroes that you are.
Sure, yeah, man. I wasn't prepared. I should have came up with a voice.
I
forgot about the voices.
We thought about doing this whole thing in voice.
These are our voices.
Well, yeah. My voice isn't as cool as the pirate's voice.
I love that. I don't know where I came up with that one. It's not even. I don't even think it's his original voice. I don't even remember his original name. That's why we call him the Pirate Captain. Half my characters never make it past an episode. I'm the running trope of the guy that comes with a new character every week. We talked about it when we first started this out about trying to do it in an entire episode with these voices, but I was like, man, that's stressful. Mm-hmm. It's straining. Bolgg's voice takes a lot out of him. You'll see at the end of a campaign when he plays that character. It's just he's wiped, I'm wiped, and then you have Loke, who the only real voice he does is the Macho Man Randy Savage one.
Which would not be a good voice for this show.
I don't know. I mean, I think people would say people would appreciate it.
It'd be good for a Fiverr account.
Yeah.
Charge people for the voiceover.
I'd pay for him just to be quiet. That's half the times. All right, so we got Kyle and Brian in studios. These guys are the authors and artists of Shattermare Comics. You guys explain to the listeners who you are, everything about you guys.
Sure, yeah, we're Shattermare Comics. Keep
saying Shattermare like a dipshit. I've been already hit in the back of the head once.
No, you're good. We've got our Hardly Heroes is our kind of our introduction to the comic world. So it's based on our long-running D&D campaign for 4 or 5 years. We're about to finish up campaign 2. So the book opens what's basically campaign 1. Sorry, I'm getting off a cold here. So right now we have the volume, which is the first 6 issues for pre-order on the website, and we're doing a little Indiegogo campaign for it. So if you look up Hardly Heroes Volume 1, you can find that there. And we're on issue 7.
Yeah.
So I think
that one, like I said, I when I first got it from you, because we met you guys I met you at Necronomicon,
Yep.
and I was like, bro, this is awesome, a D&D comic book, and I bought all the issues right there. I went home and read them, and my wife was mad because I left them out on the counter for like 2 months. I was like, I'm reading more, trust me. And
Which we did an interview at that convention, but that episode,
Nobody heard it.
yeah, we had to take it. The audio quality was so bad.
We actually took it off of our podcast
Yeah.
page because it was just that bad.
Yeah, I wanted it to be something better, and I think if I'd had a little bit more prep and I didn't have to worry about the LARPers next door, I kept pissing them off, which I was like, I'm sorry, I got told I could be here, so
Well, we're in a studio today, so the audio should be.
yeah,
it is. That is, if you actually go back and listen to some of our first episodes, it was me in a bad. I'm my own engineer at my own house, so everything kind of is faulty. And so you just listen to the crackling audio and everything. It was not near as good as it is now with, obviously, multi-million-dollar studio equipment.
Yeah, this is nice. Very sexy mics you got here.
Oh, man, these aren't even the sexiest. I got to show you a couple studios down where we just built this whole new studio, and those are less sexy, but they're working on it. But so you guys, how did you guys come up with the idea? And we've talked about this, obviously, in that episode we had to take down, so I want everybody to hear it from the fresh start.
Recap.
How did you guys come up with the idea to make a comic book about your D&D campaign?
Well, so, I mean, we meet up for our D&D group we've been doing for several years now. We meet up every week, every Monday. We started it when the original DM, he got diagnosed with cancer, and it was like one of those things he always wanted to do. And you guys know, like, it's very difficult to get a group together for a D&D game.
Even more difficult to get that game going with cancer. Believe me, I know.
Cancer survivor.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So, I mean, that's one of those things that people find a little bit more time to do it when it's like, that serious of an issue. And so, we got a group together. We met every week. It was Wednesdays back then we would meet. So, about a year after we started, the original DM, Wilson, he passed away.
Oh, man.
But, he took good notes, so we kind of as a tribute, we kept meeting up. We had one of the players stepped up and became, the new DM and continued the campaign on. And, we've been meeting, every week ever since. And a couple of years ago, after one of our sessions, we were, kind of shooting the shit. And Wilson and a couple of our other players, like Gabe, who's not here today, they're really into comic books. So we kind of had the idea, this would be a fun comic book. This would be a good comic book idea. So we were like, let's just try and do it. And it was probably about a year of just trial and error, figuring things out before we actually came out with the first issue. But
little did we know how difficult it is to put a comic book together.
Yeah, there's art and all these things you gotta
storytelling. Everything's got to line up. There are thoughts in your head that just don't translate well to paper or in real life.
You got to pick a font.
Really,
it's got to be the right size.
So how much and this is all you guys. This is all funded by you guys. The original issue, right? Funded by you guys. Nothing else outside of anywhere. You guys, and you get it all done. Has it seen the success that you guys thought it would, or is this kind of blown up better than you thought?
I think it's been better than we thought.
Yeah, this is way better than I thought. I thought I would go to a store, they would laugh me out of the store and throw my book away in the trash. So
people want original content. This is by far some of the most original content that I've ever actually read. It's something. And when I say original, it's nobody's ever heard of these heroes before, or nobody's ever done these tropes before, unless you're a player. I was telling you guys beforehand, when I was reading it, I saw myself in some of these characters, some of the decisions they make. I was like, oh yeah, I totally would have done the same thing. And it was hilarious, just kind of watching the reactions and the attitudes. It's not a cohesive party at the start, as no party ever usually is, and it's crazy to kind of watch it all unfold and come together. Even right now, I'm 6 issues in because I haven't got the 7th one. That they're still kind of there's all this tension between them, and it actually makes for great storytelling. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it came together surprisingly well, and Kyle's a really good writer, so he's really good at adapting, taking all the notes, like you said, from the original DM. I think it's almost like an issue per session, or like session and a half. We skip like, when you're in town for 4 sessions shopping for like a new sword or whatever. But it lined up really well, so we're pretty proud of it. And it's like some of the other stories, like comic books I've seen that adapt D&D, it's kind of like they're just taking the brand. So they're like, oh, this is a fantasy book, and then some of them go way too meta, where they'll like pull out to the people at the table. So I think this is a good balance of, you kind of get like the jokes and the nod. Like if you're a player, you're like, oh yeah, I would have done that for sure. But it's still a self-contained story.
I like the way you guys do it, because you're talking about the meta of like, hey, coming out and you see the players and they're talking about the game. I like it. You have this guy that's telling the story in some of the first issues, and he's actually saying, and it's kind of from his viewpoint, like he's the bard out there going, kind of like that Witcher kind of vibe from the series and the Netflix. And he's like, all right. And then he's telling people like, shut up, I'm going to get to that part. Just hold on. That's actually something I've come to really enjoy about the book. All right, let's explain to some of the characters. I got the explanation when I first met you, and I thought these were like great characters. Like, come on, you're going to have a bard in there, and he's going to sleep with everybody? He's like, no, you're mostly wrong. I've got something better for you as a warlock. So I want you to explain the characters of your story that way, because if I do it, I'm not going to do them justice. If these guys do it, one of them hasn't even read it. So,
well, so the character that I played in the campaign was Shump. He's a half orc, half gnome fighter. So, as you were mentioning, like, the character is arguing and stuff. So, like, there's a good balance in terms of, like, Shump. My character was like, he was kind of overly serious, as opposed to some of the other characters. He's kind of he's a young guy. I think he's like 17. He had a kind of a stereotypical, which I won't get into too much for spoilers, but he kind of had a stereotypical, overly tragic backstory. like almost like 2 tragic backstories combined.
My father left me, and my brother, the caretaker, he died of cancer. We're gonna go with the cancer trope. That's good enough. That works. Yeah.
So he juxtaposes a little bit to like some of the other characters, like Harbeck, who's a dwarf that was raised by wolves.
He's probably one of my favorites, actually, of the story. Like I don't know where he stands on the fan catalog, but he's one of my favorites.
That was our friend Gabe's character, and he's kind of like a happy-go-lucky, almost like kind of comic relief, but he has moments where the wolf comes out, and everything gets serious.
I love
like
whoever.
Issue 7.
Well, great. Now you can't do that to me, all right? I got to get it. I love whoever's doing the drawing, because like watching him fight is probably one of my favorite things, because he fights just like you're saying. He was raised by wolves, so he fights like that, and they do a really good job of like drawing him in there. It's like dashing across the screen. I actually enjoy that.
Kind of reminds me of like Blanca a little bit. It was like partly the inspiration for how he fights. He's always kind of walking semi on all fours. He's got the big mane, covering everything. Just a furry little guy. Launching himself at people.
Like I said, it's one of my like I said, and you guys it was mentioned to me that you guys are going to be switching to your artists. I hope that's going to carry over. Some of the scenes in here, before we get back to the characters, are really done well. Like the combat is like, it's felt like as you're going from panel to panel, you can kind of like feel everything kind of like flows into one motion. There's not like a whole lot you got to piece together. Like, okay, how did he get from over here to over here? Kind of like that 6 seconds you have in D&D. So it's actually, like I said, really well done.
I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, thank you. we're not sure. We're that's kind of why we're taking a little bit of a break, because we want to make sure that with the new artist coming in, we are giving him the freedom to go with his own style, but we want to make sure it's really consistent. So like when you go from issue 8 to 9, that you won't feel like you're reading a totally different comic, or it's weird, you don't know what the characters are, that kind of stuff. So we're spending a lot of time, and we would spend a lot of time developing with the first artist, like Kyle mentioned, probably like a year and a half before we even launched the first issue.
Took a really long time.
Yeah, and then after that, it was smooth. So we definitely want to make sure that we maintain that consistency.
Yeah.
So
From the first issue till now, it's been about an issue a month, and then obviously we've taken a little bit of a break now with the transition. So we'll make sure it's as close as we can get.
I appreciate that. Like anybody that are your fans that knows this, like I said, it's Hardback's, like I said, one of my favorites. I love watching his interactions with the group. His one like, hey everybody, we're gonna be a family without being a family, and you got that pushback from Shump. But the fighting style, it just, I've never thought about seeing a character fight like that, and it was actually really entertaining to watch it. Like I said, dash across the screen, especially when they were fighting a hag after they got drugged. I'm not going to say when that happened or how that happened, but that's how it happened. And you just watching him dash across fighting the tree thing. That was awesome.
He's a monk, if you're wondering what class he is.
I was figuring it was either a monk or some kind of like special, like cosmetically done barbarian. So it was actually really cool.
yeah, you got him, Shump's half
Fighter.
gnome, half orc fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Theron, who's the like edgy McEdgerson rogue assassin archer.
Which, yeah, story-wise, he adds a very, very interesting component, especially like the first
Especially
couple
in the two
issues. Yeah.
I like it. You just like, I don't want to do this, and he walks off. That is like, it's entertaining. I was like, because I've done that. I have things that keep me from playing the games every week, like I want to. So sometimes my character has to kind of like walk off. So it's kind of like, I almost felt like it's like they're telling the story of a guy who can't be there all the time, and since he didn't get to be there, we just kind of like filled in his with like cool notes. So
Surprisingly, no. He actually, like, the
No, he's
second
just a jerk.
session, he was like, I'm going to go do this other thing because it's like what my character would do. So we had to have like a split session thing. So the DM met with him separately and then met with us and
It's even
presumably
worse.
coaxed him to like you have to get back to the party. Come on, we can't do two separate sessions.
I mean, we can, but
the it's what my character would do thing. Yeah.
we've talked about how dangerous that's like one of the most dangerous lines in D&D. So
It's good. It's good. It can be bad sometimes, but it's good.
It's
In
volatile.
this case, it was good.
Yeah.
As a general rule, it's not good.
Yeah.
Picking
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
yeah,
But you know,
picking up a
it's
Kinko and
interesting. We're
throwing it
talking
over.
about the beginning is when we did the campaign. We were actually playing the campaign. It was kind of one of those. You just start out. You're all in this cabin, and it was kind of like we didn't have necessarily a great reason for being there. It was just the weather's bad, and you guys took shelter in this cabin. I mean, we had our backstories and everything, but being able to do the comic, we were able to do like a little, like the first maybe was it like 15 pages or so was kind of like the prequel to them getting to the cabin, so it kind of fleshed it out a little bit. So it was more than that, just general beginning of you guys are all together. Let's go. You know.
I mean,
that's what I thought when I was reading. It was kind of like the before you all meet in a tavern, what happens to get you to that tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I enjoyed. I think that's awesome. It's something that's not really explored in like the zero session or first session. Is that kind of interaction, which I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, which for a comic, it's issue one's a little slow because you have a lot of the backstories and stuff. But like we were saying earlier, we try to balance what happened in the campaign, which is pretty true to that. Like you had a player just decide, oh well, I'm just going to leave. So we're trying to make sure it works with the character. But I mean, a lot of people are coming, I'd say, maybe not coming into D&D, but they know about D&D more because like Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more in the public eye. So it's pretty cool because we're getting some readers that come in that this is like their experience for D&D. So that way you can still read it even if you're not a comic reader, you don't play D&D. If you do those things, you'll get it more. But
Yeah, and you can see yourself in some of these characters.
Yeah.
Like your dwarf fighter guy or monk guy or whatever
He's a
he
monk.
was. He's a monk. Reminded me a lot of my murder hobo druid.
Yeah, there you go.
He was a homeless guy.
I mean,
happened to be a player character.
by definition, druids are homeless. So
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, but this literally lives in
The
the
planet is their home.
Yeah,
What about
lives
trees?
in the alley.
I'm not going to desecrate
yeah,
a tree for my home.
Yeah, but he reminded me a lot. Mannerism. You see that when you're reading that he's different enough that he's unique and he's a new character, but he's going to trigger those nostalgic. Yeah, I remember when I was playing a game like this, and some of the other characters. I'm sure I've only gone through this first comic, so I'm the one that's
Yeah,
behind.
thanks for not reading. you had all this time to
so
like
I'm sure
study.
some of these other ones also will trigger some of those. But that one stood out right away because that's the last campaign I played it. You know,
Okay. Yeah,
where-
He's our go-to DM. Like
Yeah.
he's the one that we make
nice.
do all the work.
So that triggered right away. It's like, hey, this reminds me of this character I just played, and it was a lot of fun. That was one of my favorite characters. Had we been starting this show next week, I might have named this character after that one instead of the one I did from years ago.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time
But,
on Loke's campaign. All right,
So-
we got one character. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
So Theron, he's played by our current DM that took over, Josh. So right now he's DMing our continuation of the campaign.
So he gets to write in all the cool stories for himself. Like, all right, all the cool moments that I get to have that you guys don't. All right, let's see. Saved the town, got all the golds. Yeah, you know what? Kissed a woman or two. You know, that's just the cool things. But
And then our last character is Salazar. He's kind of who I would describe as like the murder hobo of our group.
Yeah.
he cracks me up because he's just like all of a sudden it's that that fireball in the group idea. Like he's just like from reading him. I was reading. I think it was this is the sixth one. Yeah, when they're like trying to save the town from the damn. I keep giving all the spoilers. Yeah. You know what? Go out and get it yourself because you're actually losing out just on my bad retelling of these stories. It's Shattermare.
There you go.
I do this all the
You
time.
caught it. You
How
caught it
many?
that time.
How many times? Go back in. If you go through the previous episodes, I mispronounce all our stuff all the time, just because.
The isekai episode where we literally the two of us say isekai over and over, and you just say iseki every single time.
Yep. Oh. Shattermare Comics, you guys are gonna want to go find them. They've got a website, they've got Instagram, Facebook. Go get their comics, go buy them. Trust me, I love them. I bought them all when I first. I bought them before I even knew I was going to love them, and I actually enjoy the story. I'm looking forward to getting the seventh one. Actually, you guys got to sign it. I got the blank copy here.
Oh,
you know
no
the one
problem.
that you were
for sure. Yeah.
You're going to sign it that way. Whenever you guys get big and famous, I can go, I got the number one. This will be my Amazing Spider-Man or Strange Tales number 15 with the first edition of Spider-Man right there. Going to have that one.
Yeah, and if you want now, because the new artist is in Florida, he's in outside of Melbourne, so I can have him do a sketch on that. For me and
Maybe.
sign it.
Yeah, I'll have to come over there. You guys got a big show coming up in DeLand too, don't you?
He'll be there tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh man, I may have to. I got to go to a wedding tomorrow, but I may skip that wedding and just completely
Just
go
wear
there.
your suit. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems. I could just skip the wedding and say I was sick.
That's true. Yeah.
But
priorities.
Exactly.
Hope they don't listen to your podcast.
It's my family. Of course they don't. Your friends and family don't listen to your own stuff. That's
so true.
I have learned that
For
one.
the listeners in the future, we're talking about April 15th of 2023. Don't show up tomorrow if you're listening in June
Got him.
April.
or January.
January, yeah.
Yeah. No, they have no idea what's going on now.
Yeah,
That's
no.
fine.
I completely biffed that one.
We call that one pirate captaining. Oh.
Are we sure it's not bulging?
Oh, we could. It could be one of the three of us. We do this all the
Pirate
time.
bulging.
Pirate bulging and loking. Oh, but Salazar, man, I love him. He's I got the cover variant too that's got him like with the hot chick around his leg and stuff like that.
Oh,
When you
yeah.
showed me,
The
when you
Army
were,
of Darkness kind of homage.
yeah, it was that one's my favorite. I want to get that one actually hung up into a special container because it's actually my favorite of all of the ones that you guys have out. So
Yeah, we like doing the variant covers with like all the homages, and it kind of gives you an opportunity to have fun with it, you know. And also, like, you know, you meet some of these artists at some of these conventions, and you get an opportunity to
There
work
you
with them, and it's cool meeting all the different people that are in the industry and everything.
yeah, if you guys could have like obviously you got your new artist and you like this guy, but if you could have any comic book artist out there right now do like just a one-off episode for you guys, who would you guys have?
Like the cover
Or just any like you can have the cover or the interior, either one. Like somebody that you guys know is your favorite. That's just like, hey, you have to do one thing for me if I ever meet you.
I approached Mr. Kirkham at a show.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think that would be funny because you could just have the characters like on little swings, like Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
In issue 1. So probably him if he wasn't super busy, say for like modern artists.
Oh man, there's there's a morning show.
If you're out there, Tyler.
There's a morning show that used to be here a couple of years ago. It's kind of passed on with just the times and stuff like that. And one of the artists there is actually, he did this board monkey thing because it's kind of a joke. The guys that run the boards they call us board monkeys. And he's a famous. I can't remember what comic strip. It's like a very well known comic strip that he actually did, and so he actually drew us like this board monkey thing. I got to go find it now, but man, I could see that. What about you? All right, you got to have somebody like draw your comic, and tell you what, you can't have anybody write your story because having somebody write your story that doesn't do you guys any genuine. Who would you have like write your story?
I was always a fan growing up of Dragon Ball, so Toriyama would be.
Dude, Toriyama
that'd be sick.
I could see that. I wouldn't mind seeing actually the Arichi Oda of some of your characters too. I'm a big One Piece fan, so I wouldn't see that. The Toriyama stuff, and I'm thinking not even Dragon Ball Z. I think Dragon Quest Toriyama stuff, where it's kind of like more of like the chibi kind of like style, where the characters are a little bit more not so well defined.
Yeah,
because the new artist isn't really doing it the same way. Like you watch the original Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, it was like different than the Toriyama.
Right. Toyotaro, his style's ever so slightly pushing more towards the GT style, which
it's sharper.
Yeah.
So
that's why I always love Toriyama. He switched between the hard masculine fighter type to the comic relief, softer, deformed style very easily, switching back and forth as much as he needed.
And that would kind of work for we definitely have a lot of goofy kind of moments in the comics, so I think that would work pretty well.
That's where I think
that would be cool.
I like I would think like the Oda style would do it because that One Piece kind of like gag and stuff like that. Sometimes you get it would be really cool, like when Luffy sees the robots and gets the stars in his eyes. I could see some of that happening here.
I never got into One Piece because I saw how long it's going on, and I'm like, I'm not even going to try and invest in this. I can't.
So you'll rewatch 3 different tales of Dragon Ball Z, but you won't watch a story that's got the same stuff. Nothing's changed. There's no retcons. There's no nothing. Some of you guys just... I'm glad he's on the side with you guys because you guys in your bed.
He's on the right side of the glass for that because I'm not watching One Piece either.
That's like
just wait till it ends.
700 episodes versus over 1,000 now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
No one asked y'all. This podcast is over. I'm in.
All right, see ya.
So you guys got some really great characters, but how are we going to see these new characters in your new comic, Lich in the Kitchen?
No, I don't predict
not even a
so,
cameo,
but,
not even like on a wanted poster in the background.
Probably an Easter egg.
Yeah, we might do some Easter eggs or something like that.
We did an Easter egg for Lich in the Kitchen in the volume variant cover. So
yeah, we did.
Okay,
that's the reverse way,
So, what is Lich in the Kitchen?
So, Lich in the Kitchen is a story about a immortal lich whose one true passion in life is cooking. So
man after my own heart.
It's set in the modern times, and he's trying to be kind of like a master celebrity chef, but he's obviously got some hurdles to jump through because he doesn't necessarily understand the modern world.
Oh, so it's kind of like a Bender trying to be Elzar from Futurama type deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But except he's a little bit better at cooking than Bender is. But
right. But then you also get the flashbacks of where he just massacres like parties of adventurers.
So we do a lot of like his meals are, you know how when you read like recipes online on blogs, they always spend like 2/3 of the article talking about their great grandma's sweet sugar cookies and
the origin of the
the
origin of the recipe,
how it made them feel, you know, instead of just like telling you the recipe. Well, it's gonna be like in a sense, in a fun way, because I hate that shit, but in a fun way, it's like his recipes bring him back memories of when he was killing adventurers or coming in and messing up his concoctions he was brewing up.
Oh, well, I can appreciate that. That's a man after Bolgg's heart.
That would be murder on sight, yes, for Bolgg. If you came in my kitchen and messed something up, you're dead.
Yeah.
Instantaneously.
I can say if he's in there preparing everything and he's got like the hideaway pan of dead people and he brings it up and look, it's already complete with all these previously dead people. I don't know. There's so many different.
And then some douchebag bard comes in and ruins everything.
See? He knows. Douchebag bards. Yeah. You
It's what
trained
we're
him to
not
say
for.
that, didn't you?
We're not refuting the fact that bards are douchebags.
We've never argued that fact
I just want you. Yeah. Then why did you let me get this one in here?
because they're the best.
They're not
douchebags.
We can show you guys some of the pages. We did like issue 0 for a
Oh, yeah?
compilation for an Orlando store. Yeah.
Oh, dude, we got to
Before
see
we go,
those.
yeah.
No, I want to
For
see
sure.
that. This is what I'm talking about. I love creators that come in and they're bringing in their own. They're entertaining old mediums that are bringing it into the new light. Something like having different comic books, different podcasts, things like that. You see it with the YouTube. There's 1,001 of them. But what you guys are doing is something that is unique and different, and I like it. The story's great. I feel like I'm watching actual players without actually watching players. That's my big thing about, it's nothing against Critical Role. I admire what they do, but I don't really like watching other people play.
Well, and you can also tell that they are professional voice actors. That's not the way
it's
a
the
regular
theater,
game. That's more acting, less play.
And by now, I think it's gotten to the point that they kind of like pre-plan their story. Like I don't think that's true, but you kind of like feel the way that it goes like that. Versus you guys are taking like, you can see some of the randomness, some of the fails that happen, like in the
their players aren't trying to screw the DM's plan to break the game like a real player would.
Yeah, it just happened.
Oh.
Yeah,
But-
that's kind of how I felt about Vox Machina. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Yeah.
When it was on, but like there's some scenes in there that really that hit me that are like, oh man, this guy fucked up the. I can say that, right?
Yeah, you say
Okay, this guy fucked up that like lock picking that stealth roll like 3 times before he got it. They make a joke, but there was like 3, maybe 2 or 3 scenes like that in the whole show, and the rest was just kind of like some writers writing an animation.
Right.
Traditional
So
hero
like
shit,
that's
yeah.
that's what I would want to see more. That was my favorite parts.
Well,
So-
it's, and that's why we were talking about this beforehand. You can't have people that aren't fans or players write
yeah.
D&D stuff. We were talking about the D&D movie coming out, and I think one of our things is like you could tell that you can have this story, and that's fine. They've got the issues with the druid turning into the owlbear. It's like, oh, you can't do that. But this is where you kind of like zoom out, and you have Danny DeVito as the DM telling the whole story, because I don't know why. I just thought Danny DeVito was like the best part of our argument. But
We're not announcing that Danny DeVito is in the movie. This is our own wish list. Fan casting wish list.
Yeah, let the fans write the D&D movie.
It's a
and it'll be
retelling.
If
Yeah.
fans could write movies, Danny DeVito would be a very busy man.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd be
But yeah, we
Detective
thought they should
Pikachu.
Princess Bride it, where they step out and be like, you can't turn into an owl bear. You're a druid. Druids can only turn into beasts.
Oh yeah, exactly. I didn't
But
think
so-
And it was like,
Oh,
but the DM gave me something last session. Don't you remember? And it zooms over to DM. It was Danny DeVito. It's like, yeah, I did it. So anyway, the sorcerer comes in and starts blasting.
Yeah, see, that's already better than whatever the movie is going to be.
I'm telling you, man, fans should write the movie, but that's what it is. And like when you read Hardly Heroes, it's almost like you guys are playing. I'm watching the game being played without watching the game being played, and it's probably the best part about the comic. Other than like, I love the characters, I love the artwork, the fighting styles of Carraback. These are great. Great designs. Is there any chance that you guys are going to add new characters outside of the 4 main heroes to this? Is there something going to change? If you don't want to reveal it now, you don't have to. I mean, it's the only way they're going to get the information. But
I mean, things are always changing. I mean, you've been reading the comic, you see how many times they've messed up so far. So
my favorite mess up, and I yet again another spoiler alert. You got to go read these things. Is like when they're escorting the guy and he dies in the second comic because he's just like standing by the pit. He's like, I got you. And they're like,
oh my god.
And they're like, oh, all right, I'm not going to believe you. It's like, yo, bro, you need to move. And he gets the acid breath right on him. And I was like, and then it's the callback at the end was actually pretty good. Man, you got to go read these, Loke. Yeah, it was genuinely like I laughed way too hard at that. My wife's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "Go read this," and she doesn't get it because she's never played the game. She doesn't understand.
Well, see, now that Volume 1 is out, I can just go get the whole thing at once instead of having to get 6 separate ones.
Yeah, well,
Volume 1 available on the website.
Oh pre-order. Oh, shout it out, man! Give out the whole website. Yeah,
Shattermarecomics.com.
Yeah, see, if I'd have said it, it'd have been fucked up again. But it's great, man. You guys actually got more than just that. I got your stickers and all sorts of stuff. You can get the blank cover, and if you buy the blank cover, this one right here, it's already been signed. You buy it, you bring it to them, and they will do something cool for you.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to
find them at a convention or comic book store to get them.
That's what I would do. You guys actually
or the website.
We aren't hard to find. You just got to follow us on social media.
Yeah.
So click off the signature button real quick. Let's see.
Or
Bam.
show up to
$5
Deland in
per
April.
signature. I like that.
That's right. Free signatures in person if you can find us.
Yeah.
So, but we try to regularly update our event page, and I mean, right now we're mostly in Florida, but or someone hits me up and they're like, "Oh, really? $5 for a signature?" I'll be like, "Nah, you're good."
Ah, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell them that. I want you guys to get your $5 signatures.
Yeah.
So, it's awesome, man. Like I've never thought when we first started this, we never thought we'd end up having. We've had a professor on. We've had quite a few content creators. I never thought I'd actually get. Oh, you guys got a hat too? Holy shit!
Yeah, we got some sweet swag.
Oh, click on the hat. All right. Well, I know I'm going to be getting a hat.
The Shattermare hat and the Hardly Heroes hat.
I'll probably get the
Snapback flat. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like the
legit.
one. Yeah, like the legit ones we wear. So maybe I'm all right. This is what's in the loot chest: collectible cards,
It's a swag
custom-
bag.
Have a holographic sticker and your very own signed Harley Heroes poster. Items available now. Man, you got to quit doing this. You're distracting me, Mr. Producer. You know shiny objects get me distracted. Oh,
Trying to figure out new kinds of swag to get is. I mean, that's another fun part of doing this.
we know.
true,
Yeah, we know. How
We
that
know
goes.
that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, we can do a wood cover. Why not? We can do a leather cover. Why not?
Yeah.
Don't get in on us. We got shirts made like this one. I actually had to go get this one specially done for me because I like the collared shirts and stuff like that with short sleeves. But I want to get. We had a hat. So I just don't like the way the hats come out for ours.
Yeah.
So, but enough about shop. People don't want to hear us talk about shop. That's not.
I mean, they might if they want to start their own, productions of stuff. This
you
is
could
all
do like a episode on because actually I'll probably hit if you got a shirt guy. I need a shirt guy now. So.
We don't have a shirt guy. We have a shirt we have a shirt company, and they do all right. Like they do pretty good. The stickers. He's got a window sticker that actually works really well. That he hangs up in his car when he rides around. So people, QR codes. QR codes are the best for anything. And I tell this to people. I told this to one of my bosses I work for. He's like, I don't know how people aren't really using the business cards. It's like put a QR code on there, and people scan it with their phone, and that way, that's the big thing. So he has that on his window. So when people drive by, they.
Our
that's a good
T-shirts have QR codes in the back.
Yeah.
But if somebody's behind you and they just see it's a QR code that says "Roll for Initiative," and they're a D&D player, they know. Scan it. Oh, it's a podcast.
Do you
It's a
have
good
people
idea. I'm
like
gonna steal
walk
that
way
idea.
too close to you? When
I
you're-
have had people come behind me with their phone out to see.
Yeah.
It happened to me at. I was at the mall at one of the stores and I just heard a snap. I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, I was finding out what was on your shirt. You're a podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, we do a D&D podcast."
It's like
Yeah.
you're excused.
Yeah, yeah, you are fine.
I don't know. I don't mind people following me. It's kind of fun. I just lead them into dark. I mean, nothing. But
Hey,
it's
their choice.
exactly. You followed me by
Roll
choice.
the dice.
Oh, but yeah, no. I tell you, the QR codes are where it's at, and you just stick them up in random places. Actually, we get some random listens throughout the city and stuff like that.
There
are
is
from.
a one of our stickers in Boston that I stuck somewhere. If you're in Boston, try and find
Nice.
Yeah.
it. If it's
we
still
need to
there.
start tagging Jacksonville with Shattermare Comics stickers.
There you go, man. Just like everywhere. And that's right, because you guys are based out of Jacksonville. So it's obviously we broadcast here out of St. Pete at the radio station that I work at, and you guys did all this drive just for us. So I feel appreciated, man. It's worried about it.
man.
I was like, man, because when we started talking about having you guys come on in like November, and then we finally got you here. I was like, man, I've been telling these guys for the last couple weeks, don't forget, we got the comic book guys coming up. So why Loke hasn't read the comic books by now for the last couple weeks, don't forget, comic book guys are coming. Don't forget, comic book guys are coming. So
It happens.
Didn't do your homework.
didn't do his homework.
It's the holidays. Things
Yeah,
happen.
you're forgiven.
Don't forgive him. You don't have to.
Okay,
don't
you're not
don't
forgiven.
don't pander to him. We put him in the corner for a reason.
You have to read all the comics and then write an essay on it.
I want a book report.
There you go.
I want sources.
See, I was
too,
just
so-
I was just waiting for volume 1 where I could just get it all in one.
No, you weren't.
Because I don't need
No, you
individual-
weren't. Don't lie. Your persuasion check doesn't pass.
'Cause now I'm going to hold you to that. Now that we have it.
Yeah, we got it right here. We'll see you log in right here. We were talking about it. This is obviously the biggest news right now that's hitting Wizards of the Coast is the OGL stuff. And you guys think, like, to me, I think you guys is far enough off that you guys can kind of get away without having that issue. But you're saying, no, it could affect you guys. What is the OGL? How's it going to affect you guys?
So, I mean, I'll just preface this with I'm not a contract lawyer. So this is based on a little bit of like intellectual property law that I've had in college. It's more likely than not going to affect the comic at all, because like you're saying, the comic is very transformative. It's like 2 medias removed. But we are planning, and we've done a couple of test runs. We were planning on coming out with a module based on the comic book, based on the D&D game. So we're going to come out with a 5th edition module so we can run people through the story of Hardly Heroes, and that's a direct tie-in to Wizards, to 5th edition. So
that would be directly impacted.
That would be directly impacted.
Yeah, because like we've been calling this a D&D comic because it was based on a D&D game. But nowhere on there is it logoed D&D. Nowhere on the box. Nowhere in there does it say the word D&D.
We only knew that because we talked to the two of you guys and you were like, yeah, no, hey, this is what happened. This is the story of how the comic came in. So that's how we knew. But other people, they're not going to know.
Right, yeah. This is a comic that has similarities.
Yeah, it's obviously inspired.
It's inspired by, but it is not a direct derivative of.
D&D was inspired by...
Disclaimer. Yeah,
D&D was inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So
I can't wait for the token estate to sue
dwarves, gnomes,
Wizards of the Coast.
Fighters, barbarians, monks, all exist outside of D&D. These are not...
Right.
They're not using D&D trademark.
No, none at all. Like Good luck trying to tie any of these characters into anything that's ever been done. Like these are unique, original characters. So, could you guys not do the module through Pathfinder or something like that, or is it just that you guys are kind of dead set in D&D?
So we already did I'd say probably the first 3 issues in 5th edition and tied into the mechanics. So we could. It's just something we're gonna have to review. Yeah, we'll just have to go back.
Well, they said that they're Wizards trying to do a little bit of damage control, and they're oh no, we were talking about it, but we didn't mean it. Come on.
Yeah, they're already
the worst
walking
case
it
one
back.
though, if they had published that module on the 1.1 that was leaked, Wizard could own these characters, and their new TV show could all of a sudden have these 4 characters in it, and them not pay Shattermare anything. Which is not something any producer of intellectual property would want. So obviously, it's a good thing that's not the version that's coming. But
so all of a sudden we've got Alizar, Thorin, Scrump.
Scrump.
All of a sudden that new D&D TV show that they sold to Paramount all of a sudden has these characters, and they'll be saying, "Hey, wait a minute! I recognize that storyline. That's straight out." It's like, well, we said in that fine print, anything you produce using this license, we own.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get sued left and right.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want to say, right?
Yeah. No, more people are going to stand with you guys than they are with definitely Wizards. Wizards is
already the backlash and
the mass cancellations.
Yeah, mass
D&D Beyond
cancellations.
subscription.
It's not even just D&D. It's Magic the Gathering. I'm surprised. I haven't heard anything about HeroClix. A lot of those guys are, would probably be pulling out too, because it's weird that they can get away with it. They can say, "Oh, well, we own these properties," but yet you're using DC and stuff. They had Iron Maiden HeroClix too. So it's just how are you going to get away with this? How are you going to treat the players that love your game enough to create stuff, and you're going to treat them like that? Take what's theirs and make it yours. That's just that's shiesty. It's shiesty. So we'll see how this damage control does. I'm worried about it for creators like you, for creators like us. We were labeled a D&D podcast. Technically, yes, they could come after us and say, "Hey, you guys can't talk about D&D in these ways," or stuff like that. So,
for the record, we are technically an RPG tabletop podcast.
That's right.
One of which we fair use for critique and review.
Thank you, Loke the lawyer.
We're just parroting.
Yeah.
We do release content for 5th edition.
We do.
So
now, fortunately, all of what we've released so far has been through the DM's Guild, which has a separate license and would not currently be affected.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how D&D Wiki's going to do.
Oh, yeah. They go after all those sites, compendium stuff. Yeah.
But I don't want to see... My issues with OGL is there are good sides and bad sides to capitalism. People out there are going to say, "Oh, well, I don't like it." Well, there are good things. It helps out creators like yourself. You saw a need for a market, you come out, you've created something that's great. But there are the downsides of where somebody comes out and says, "Oh, well, you put D&D somewhere on there. It's written in there in these 3 letters that are not anywhere near together on the piece of paper, but that's close enough for us."
And one thing you've seen with the backlash is how many podcasts, YouTube channels, comic book publishers have some form of tie-in with a third-party publication of who makes modules and adventures and those kind of things. We've had we have Shadowmare here today, and we've had Tacitus Publishing in the past. We have ties with these third-party publishers, so we're going to stand with them in this type of...
Oh, yeah. No,
we're going to stand with our friends and the people who work with us and create stuff. Just so, for the record, we are against these changes.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody but Wizards themselves actually want this change. They thought they were going to be able to capitalize on something, and it just didn't work out for them. It was a dumb move by people that just... you were saying the Microsoft...
Yeah, the CEO for Wizards came in from Microsoft.
So he loves microtransactions.
Some of the press that preceded this coming out where, they're saying D&D was under-monetized. She seems to be in favor more of a microtransaction type of...
That subscription-based?
Subscription-based environment. They're building their own tabletop, so there was language in the original 1.1 to attack the VTTs who were using... the OGL SRD stuff to make their VTTs better.
Oh, so they've already been trying to plan.
So they've been planning to closing them down so that you have to use the D&D Beyond or D&D 1 or whatever they're going to call their internal
You could roll
VTT.
a 20, but you're going to have to pay $10 a month for it.
$5.99 for a feat loot box.
No feats. No feats. No words. No words from the PS.
Magical dark vision
for just $1.99.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, damn it, you guys, you sons of bitches.
Giving them good ideas.
No, these jerks. They always try to tie in magical. One of my longest running arguments that people come back. If my friend, the only episode our friends have actually listened to is the one where I went on this 30-minute rant about why you shouldn't get magical dark vision, and it's more not so the issue with magical dark vision. It's the issue with the Eldritch Evocation feat that because. It's like it's like being a great value warlock.
Yeah, double sight. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're a great value warlock, and they're like, "Oh, we'll somehow tie this into an episode and get it in here. Just watch us." And now I hate these two even more.
Every episode now we have to rib him about it because he was so set on it that magical dark vision just broke the game.
Wasn't that magical dark vision broke the
good.
game? Like, go back and listen to the episodes. It's not what happened. What I'm saying is that having the
it's not what you intended, but it is what happened.
No. You know what? No.
Every NPC enemy is a warlock now.
Yeah, and he would do that too. Like he would do that just to jack with me and make it a whole cult that we're fighting and stuff. God.
Oh, I found it. If you guys want to talk about breaking the game, I found an item in our game that totally breaks the game.
Are we going to see it in the comics?
Yeah, like 10 years from now.
Oh, damn.
So I don't think it's a big deal to spoil it now.
Remember.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like the staff of the... It's like insect staff or something. Staff of the insect swarm. Okay, so anyways, there's like a staff of the insect or insect swarm, and you could use a charge to create basically fog cloud that you can see through and no one else. So people listening, if you know what fog cloud is, it gives... okay, we're going deep.
All right, that's fine.
Deep D&D right here. So fog cloud, like it obscures everyone's vision, so everyone's basically blinded. And in 5th edition, getting to roll 2d20s from having an advantage is a big deal, especially if you're a warlock. You want to crit people. And so if you use this ability on the staff, you can see everyone and no one can see you, which also pisses off your party because they can't see you.
Kind of like a warlock with magical dark vision who casts darkness.
Yeah.
Which is why he was so against...
But this
everybody
is
else
this is a step further than that because
like you can't magical dark vision out of that because it's not.
Yeah, because like even True Sight can't see through fog cloud. I don't think so. It's turning like it's giving you the
it's tremor sense or something.
Yeah,
it's
tremor
sense. Yeah, or like blind sight or something weird. Like,
but again, you fly so
and I fly.
So you can
Warlocks,
fly 5 feet above the ground.
Warlocks are the best.
Yeah. Hey, our DM asked for it. Okay, he killed my character, the first character I played in this game, which will show up in the comic. I was like level 3. He's running a gambling racket in this town for like 3 gold pieces a day. This motherfucker got assassinated by the mob boss for 3 gold a day. So I was like, okay, Josh, I see what we're doing. You're never killing my characters again.
All right.
And my character is unkillable.
I like it. That's some level petty. That's a level of pettiness I can respect and admire.
Yeah.
I would do that too.
But Cause had a character that did it similar to your fog cloud. He would cast the fog cloud, and then he'd send his familiar outside the fog cloud and see through his familiar's eyes.
There you go.
Hey, man, you got to
accomplish similar
I was doing that at one point too. Yeah,
I love
McCall likes to break my game. He's been a guest
but
on
he
our
does
show
it within
before.
the rules.
But yeah, it's all within the rules.
right.
It's completely legal.
Like using an Aarakocra barbarian to fly up, grab somebody, and then slam
And
them
then
down.
drop 'em,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like the 600 feet Eldritch Blast. You're just an artillery cannon, so you put your same thing with the familiar, so you get the familiar out there, and he's spotting for you. Somebody's like, you can't see 600 feet. It's not what the familiar says. I'm seeing you from 30 feet right there, just dropping bombs in there.
You're like a mile away.
Oh, bro, it's awesome. Warlocks can be the most broken class, and that's always been my argument of why you shouldn't make anybody like a sub-warlock with the Eldritch Evocation feat. It wasn't so much about the magical dark vision. It was just the easiest thing I could... Yeah, it's the feat itself, not the argument of magical dark vision. I don't care if you can see in the dark. That's not a big deal. But it was one of those arguments is like, okay, how are you getting magical dark vision? Oh, well, the imp, you sold an imp some blood, and now you got... we can just play the intro again. That's just it'll do it. But it's...
So when we redid the intro, he asked for, what clip from each of us? He made the mistake of not listening to the clips before he...
I knew. It's not that I didn't make the mistake of. It's the mistake I made was giving him the option instead of going in there and picking the option myself.
Right.
And so now it's like this longest running FU to me. So it kind of like just like every time the thing is playing, it's just like ha 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 ha. And it's yet again why he's on the other side of the glass. But there's so much about D&D that can be broken, and I think finding out the ways to break it. Not so much breaking the players. You stay out of this one too, but just breaking the game.
Breakable, you break it. Players,
It's
rules,
half the fun. Yeah.
players, rules, plot line, whatever it is. If it's breakable, you break it.
Yeah,
We break plot lines a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
We do.
I mean, there's no plot line in D&D. Like, I don't care what the DM says. The DM says, yes, you guys are going to go over here and fight the Lich who happens to be making a souffle in his kitchen, but... You never end up fighting the Lich. In fact, you actually bring him ingredients.
Yeah, it's just rails.
Exactly.
It's the
So
only-
we're not. There's no plot. There's no plot. There's just bad storytelling and great art.
We end up going in the kitchen. No, I have an artificer friend that can make a little like blowtorch that makes that souffle nice and crispy on top. There you go.
There you
We
go.
would do it
Bonus.
too. We
Bonus
would.
gold.
Yeah, we would do it too. Trust us. We've blown up the
Did you kill the
world.
Lich?
We started.
No, he's a nice guy.
We've blown up the world. We started the dick face pirates and all sorts of just like random stuff. Yeah. So you give us 5 minutes.
We
we're
weren't
gonna
going to kill the Lich, but the food was just so damn good.
Good.
I
And
actually-
you just knocked like a respectable human being. You didn't kick the door in.
Well, there's where we die.
Yeah, because Bolgg doesn't believe in doors. I don't know, man. We could try and convince him to like betray whoever he answers to as a Lich, and then end up abducting him and putting him on a pirate ship and making him a part of a pirates.
The galley cook.
Yeah, there you go. So look, man, there's options. There's no
Like a
plot lines.
CR-18 character as your chef. Wow.
Wouldn't be
It's
the
like having
first time.
Sanji on your boat. It's exactly
yeah.
what it
It's
is.
So
Steven
OP.
Seagal, Under Siege, or whatever it was.
I'm not putting Steven. If the Lich is Steven Seagal,
He's the cook
he's gonna
on
die.
the naval vessel.
If it's Steven Seagal on a boat, then I'm just gonna go ahead and blow up the boat, sink it.
Just the haircut.
Okay, the haircut
Okay.
I'll give it. Yeah,
There you go.
because I'm bald and I can respect that man's hair. But yeah, I there's no there will never be a plot line. There will never be one of those things where you're just like, how often, like even with these with Hardly Heroes, did they have a plan and then you guys completely derail that plan?
Pretty often. But like, big picture stuff, it all kind of wraps up in the end.
I mean, not us. How many times have we gone to the big picture was stopped like the door of an army marching across, and then we blow.
I've mentioned before, I try to break my plot line into a 20 session plan for the whole my campaigns are 20 sessions long.
Give us 30 minutes. We're going to
And
change that entire 20-session plan.
The goal is to get them basically about one level per session.
Sure.
And so that you reach level 20 by the time you're at the end of it. It's about a year and a half type of, to get that far, because, we try to play every weekend, but it really works out to more every weekend or so.
I think more DMs should do that, though.
Yeah.
Some things get dragged out and you level like
And
once every 3 months.
In
or
the
something.
8 campaigns that we've been playing together, one made it to level 20.
Yeah.
Where They blew up the world at level 15. The entire world. I mean, and not the bad guy did. They did.
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah, we
There's a couple
we
times
the
when they
bad
blew up
guys?
the moon on another campaign. That I was like,
That's
are
why
you
they're
the bad
hardly
guys?
heroes.
Exactly. I wouldn't even call
Get
us
it?
hardly heroes. We're more like I'm trying to think of like an antonym for hardly.
Yeah, so
Hobos?
So yeah,
sure.
they
we're hobo.
derailed
We're hobo villains.
They derailed the plan quite a bit.
Yeah, we're quite bad at we're quite bad at being good.
Yeah.
It's not that we're not lawful good. We're not lawful evil. We're just more like stupid.
It's just chaotic stupid.
Chaotic stupid.
Hey, it's
We're
the pillar of stupidity. Usually it is me carrying it out, so
Yeah.
I live up to my pillar.
I will say though that our DM, I gotta give a shout out to Josh. He's really good at like DM smoke and mirrors. So like there's been stuff where I've just been totally blindsided. Normally I could like pretty much predict what's going on, but he'll just set up like a side quest and then it loops right back into the main quest. And so it doesn't feel like you're on rails where you're like, well, I want to go in this door, and they're like, no, that door's locked. Well, I want to go in this door. No, that's not a real door. It's a fake door. Well, why would they put a fake door? Like, you know, a lot of DMs.
It's real fake doors.
Right. Haha.
D&D was meant to be like an open world game where you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want to do.
More like Skyrim, less World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but one more depth.
Yeah, more depth.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's
There's
a lot of depth to Skyrim. Like, you know,
it's just 10
I can
years ago.
murder all these nameless guards and no one's really going to care. They're nameless guards.
That's true.
Can't
I would
murder
say
children,
with mods, it's pretty close to D&D.
Yeah, I think you can't murder children in Skyrim.
That's
though.
true. They're like named.
No, but you
NPCs.
can't. But you can voice throw them halfway across the town, and
That's
that
true.
one right there is hilarious.
That's
Just-
close enough.
Yeah,
Take what I can get.
I get a little bit sadistic, especially when they come up and yell mean things at me. All right. Well, I'll show you, you little 6-year-old that's not a real person. I can't do this in real life. I'm going to punch you now.
That's right. And then you get out in the game and you don't kick real 6-year-olds.
Yeah, you know,
They're
it
cute.
saves. I'm doing this for the 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, from now on, can we just turn to you and say quick save? Like what we're about to do is not what is actually going to happen.
Oh man.
No. We're gonna let people think I'm out there kicking 6-year-olds, and some people are gonna be like, I don't know. 6-year-olds kind of deserve it. How many of them are going to do that halfway backflip thing that they want you to watch, and you're just like, okay,
Yeah. So I'll draw the line at 3-year-olds. They don't. Their memories haven't even really formed yet. Like
I don't know.
Yeah.
We toss 3-year-olds.
We're not kicking them.
They
They could land in a soft place, 50-50.
No, we threw them over a glass coffee table.
Well,
Yeah.
do they make it?
I don't know how I don't think we've ever dropped either of your nieces, have we?
No, we haven't.
No, we got a pretty good track record so far.
So far.
All fun and games till someone goes to the glass table.
Yeah, I mean, and they go right over, and it's pretty entertaining, especially because they're not. It all starts when they're about like 3 months old too. Like this isn't even like fully, and we're literally chucking. You're watching the look on his sister's face. That's the best part because she's like, his brother-in-law's a carny. What do you expect? He can juggle, I think.
Oh, there you go.
But you guys have been awesome. Talking about the DeLand Comic Show. That's where you guys are going to be at tomorrow, January 15th. January, not April, not June. I mean, you guys will probably be somewhere on those days.
2024.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
No.
So, what's the big thing that people can expect for you guys tomorrow at the DeLand Comic Show?
So the DeLand Comic Show is like run by a legendary. They call him the Con Father, Tom, and so it's a really nice show. It's in DeLand. We'll be guested there, so I guess that makes us extra special.
Oh man,
I think we might do a panel. I have to double check.
Okay.
I should probably know that.
I like it though. You're pulling a pirate captain. I would just wing it. Just go on there.
He'll if I have to do it, he'll ask me and I'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
But it's like when you guys approach me at Necronomicon. You're like, you want to do an interview? Yeah, why not?
Dude.
Yeah, let's do it. So that'll be a fun one. We're gonna have our new artist, Josh, so he can do cards, covers. He can take commissions.
Oh.
But he'll be working on issue 9 there too. So
are we going to be able to get are they going to be able to get a sneak peek of issue 9 while they're there at DeLand, or is that going to kind of be like an under the wraps thing?
Yeah, they can come by. I'll show them some pages if they want to see. I mean, they won't know what's going on, but so.
I mean, out of context clues are enough to make speculators go wild. So
That's true, yeah. Oh, and we just got a bunch of graded copies because I know that's big for collectors. So we got issue 1 signed by, actually, I think you have the Jason Metcalf cover there.
Yeah, this one.
So we got that signed by the cover artist and Kyle. So we got some 9.8s there available for everybody.
Yeah, Kyle, you got to sign all these. I had Brian sign them when I bought them, so you got to sign these before you leave. So
For sure.
I brought all of mine. I don't know about these chumps.
I brought mine.
There you go.
So
You can sign that coffee bag for you if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even drink coffee anymore. Yeah.
Hand that over. I have a small cup.
I'm the one that doesn't drink coffee anymore.
No one likes you.
Yeah, because I'm old. I'm old.
Yeah, we went over this at lunch, him and his peppers. But anything else, I want to make sure that everybody out there, we've got fans quite around. It surprised me how many people actually listen to this around the world. We've got like Sweden and stuff like that. So anything you want these guys to know. Do you guys do international shipping? Because I don't want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do. I just had someone order in Sweden, actually, through the website of Volume 1.
Oh, sweet.
So that was exciting. But yeah, and then if they are international or for whatever reason they don't pick up the physical copies, we have on Patreon, like our base level subscription, you get the digital copy and you get all the back issues.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they can do the website, Patreon.
And it's all Shattermare. Like I can search Shattermare and it's going to pop right up.
Shattermare Comics at everything.
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to get to today?
Any other upcoming places on the con schedule? Like, are you guys coming back to Necronomicon?
Yes, for sure. Necronomicon. We're doing MegaCon in April, I think, this year.
Is that when? MegaCon's.
Yeah, it's like end of March or April. It's kind of weird. So we're doing MegaCon. We've got one in Charlotte, North Carolina, Heroes Con. I'm pretty sure we'll be at Tampa Bay, so that's cool. Your guys' backyard. There's a couple big ones in Jacksonville we'll be at. Is that it?
No.
Yeah.
That's
like
the next 3 months covered, yeah.
Like Beyond in Miami?
Oh, yeah, we'll be in Miami beginning of February, that first weekend. So just check out the event page. It will be updated in the next week or so.
All right. Well, that's being said, it's time to go ahead and plug out ourselves on this last bit of the episode. We've been talking with the guys of Hardly Heroes. Actually, it's Shattermare Comics. They've written Hardly Heroes. It's a great one. You guys are going to want to go read it. I've loved all the issues, all the ones I haven't read. I got to go get issue 7 because now I know it's out. Shattermare Comics. Now, for us, it's bolgandpc@gmail.com. You can send us in your requests, anything you guys want to hear us talk about. We do respond to your emails. Find us on Facebook, Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything. That's how you find us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're all throughout. Talk to us on YouTube. We're actually very responsive on our... okay. I was like, what the hell are you doing, Bolgg? We do respond to you guys everywhere else. With that being said, say goodbye, Bolgg.
Goodbye, Bolgg.
Say goodbye, Loke.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything, featuring Loke the Bard. Like, follow, subscribe, and share this podcast. You can also find them on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Just search for Chef Bolgg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything. Questions, comments, and movie requests can be sent to bolgandpc@gmail.com. And as always, happy adventures.